All right, man. We live, man. We back. R&R podcast. Listen, where the X's and O's meet real world experiences. I am your co-host, Richard Daniels.
I'm your other host, Rodney White.
Listen, today, man. Listen, our episode today is about to be fire, man. We sitting with a Winston Salem legend,
Blessing.
ACC legend, NBA All Star, man. Josh Howard, man. Thank you for joining the show today.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Listen, man, we are super excited, man. Just first to give you your flowers. I know a lot of times, man, people don't get to tell you as much, what you did for them or those kind of things. But man, just
Yeah,
just as far as me, and I'm gonna let Rod go too. Just as far as me, being a kid in Winston, it's different. It's like you have somebody there that's done it before us, and been through all the experiences, even with, high school and college and, get to the pros, man. So we don't really get to see that a lot, where we from, man. And so, like I put in our little preview, just being that kid at Reynolds Park and that Maybach pulling up, man, they don't even, they like,
yeah.
like Rod, man, like Josh got out, man. He at the games, he interacting with the kids. It's all everybody family there, man.
Yeah,
So that's a big deal as a kid, and I think a lot of kids didn't get to experience that, especially
yeah,
now. But you know what I'm saying, you was definitely that for me and a lot of other people. So we just want to give
yeah.
you your flowers on that first off.
No, I appreciate that, Rich, man. It was all about the community for me, man.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. I was raised about, being humble, and I had a
Hmm.
great family that taught me, about giving back, being selfless.
Yeah.
So once I made it, man, and showed people I'm just like them and came from the same place they came from,
Yeah.
being from Morningside, Southside of Winston, it was just like kind of like leading the charge. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of equated to like what my biblical name stands for in
Yeah.
Joshua. You know how
Yeah.
So I took that to heart growing up. As a kid, being a religious kid too.
Yeah.
Just giving back to my people.
That's super dope, man.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect. Man, with me, man, I'm not from Winston, I'm from Wilmington, man, but just moving up here, just hearing so much about you and what you did at Glenn and then Hardin or Hargrave Middle and then going to Wait, man, it's
yeah,
like what you have done for your community, giving back, man, that's amazing. And I think you're the definition of hope. Like you give kids around this area hope that they can
yeah,
they can make it to that next level, make it to that next step, man. So for me, not being around from Winston, man, just shout out to you for what you did and what you're still doing for the community up here in Winston Salem.
I appreciate that, Ronnie. Thank you, thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So Josh, man, just for me, man, you have a lot of guys from around here, especially in North Carolina now, that have been in the league, but outside of maybe like a few names, I know like everybody used Tobe Jackson. How does it feel, man, to be that one that made it uh, from Winston Salem early?
Man, definitely a blessing. I think I've thought about that as I've grown older and knowing where I came from. And I still got to give my hat, to the people before me or like the people who influenced me or like, like Mr. Bonner who was at Reynolds Park or your dad, Rich, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
OGs in the city
Yeah.
that, actually showed us how to handle ourselves outside our family, you know what I'm saying? Our in-house family. So,
Yeah.
that was something that, for me meant a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, that's dope. Going back to your playing days at Glenn, right? So obviously you played for legendary Coach Cloud. A lot of people did not get a chance to meet Coach Cloud, but I had a chance to play for him in his latter days when I was at Carver, and I
Yeah.
mean, like the talent that came from Glenn, if you put it on paper, it would
Yeah.
probably be one of the greatest, all roster teams ever assembled,
Yeah.
man. How was it one playing for Glenn and then having a coach like that made an impact?
Yeah, Coach Cloud had already, like you said, made a name for himself with the players he had before us, like the Brian Fagans,
Hmm.
um, Kevin Thompson's for sure.
Yeah,
Um, shoot, I mean, the list can go on, man.
yeah,
So for me, and like you said, me being like one of his, I guess you could say, like last runs from Glenn before he
hmm,
left, it was just a blessing for him to pour into me the way he did. And just really taught me the game from an old school level because
yeah,
we had. I used to watch VHSs with Coach after school. You know what I'm saying? Like he would pull me to the side, and I
yeah,
was really into it too. So
yeah,
in my times, hitting that VCR really, meant something to me, and it was time consumption instead of, being out
Yeah.
in the Winston streets.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of picked and choose my poison, when I was at Glenn. And also, it's a fun fact, my grandma was like one of the head janitors at
Okay.
Glenn. I
Okay.
don't know if you remember that, Rich, but
Nah. So you
grandma
couldn't
didn't
cut
play
up
no
anyway.
games.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
couldn't cut up
so
anyway.
yeah, so that was like some added inspiration. Like, and she wasn't like no authoritarian figure while she
Hmm.
was there. Like, I knew if I did something wild, she wasn't gonna go for it. But
Yeah.
like, she let me do my thing in school, and
Yeah.
I understood not to cross boundaries, even though sometimes I did. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that experience was great, and like I said, Coach Cloud like poured into me. And I'll never forget that because again, he pushed me to play better than what I was, and then the competition back then in the city, like every game,
Yeah.
every school had a player or
Yeah.
two or three
Yeah.
that could potentially go, D1, D2, like could really
Hmm.
do it if they put their mind to it. So those were
Yeah.
some fun times back then.
Who would you say would be, I guess, y'all biggest rival, or just in the city, who were some names? Like I always, one we threw out, we had Josh Pittman on here last, so that
Yeah.
was '94. But then you have like Tyson Patterson and
Oh yeah.
those type of guys. Like who was the team that y'all really had the most or most competitive or the most trouble with? Out of high school.
Shoot. I would go 4A and 3A to answer that question. So
Okay.
3A, I would probably say Parkland and Carver as
Yeah.
far as like the typical
Yeah. Yeah.
Glenn Parkland Carver, Glenn
Yeah.
Parkland Carver.
Yeah.
And then, them 4As, the Reynolds, the Mount Tables, we would hang in there and be like right there. And then they
Yeah.
just have, team. And it ain't no disrespect to them, but, and I'm going to point this out, they were more organized than like playing outside of high school
Yeah.
compared to us kids.
Yeah.
Because I ain't play AAU until ninth grade with
Yeah.
some East Side guys like my boys. So,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
been playing AAU since
So
since we
forever.
little
Yeah.
kids. So,
Yeah.
for me, it was like, and it was cool. Like, no, like I say, no disrespect to them boys. I fooled all them guys and my guys,
Yeah.
but they was more organized than us, and so that added to high school basketball. But it was definitely some fun times, man, and I enjoyed it. So with the 4A, I would probably say, man, it's probably top between Reynolds and Mount Table.
Reynolds always has some squads, especially with
Mhm.
Trav and those guys.
Yeah,
And then even the parking squads, man. I got to shout out some of them parking squads. Even with your senior year, I know I always give respect to Cliff and Danny and
hmm
those guys, man. I mean, they
yeah,
though y'all are like the guys that when I was like finally getting into knowing basketball, these
yeah.
are the names that I would hear all the time, man. So, I always, when I see everybody, I feel like it's a big deal to celebrate just what y'all did for the basketball part of, Winston-Salem.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, them guys, Danny and Cliff definitely did a lot for the game.
yeah. Just going into, Wake Forest, obviously, it's close to home.
Yeah.
It's ACC, it's Division One. What made you choose Wake outside of, I guess, if there is anything else, what made you choose that? And then how was your recruiting process with Coach Odom?
Well, shoot, I can kind of answer all that in one. Um, Before I had to go to military school after
Hmm.
Glenn,
Hmm.
um, NC State was recruiting me very, very heavy, and I was going to end up going there.
Okay.
But I needed to pass the SAT, and they don't have that right now. So,
Right.
I was getting recruited by Wake Forest and Dave, but they wasn't really on me. And
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know the history, but Wake didn't really recruit in city. I think it
Hmm.
was I don't remember the man's name, but it was a white guy that was the last guy that had drafted. I mean,
Yeah.
I had from my local school. So
Yeah.
coaching them was still high on me. They just told me if I went to Hargrave and took care of my SAT and converted, because I was a post. A lot of
Yeah.
people didn't know I
Yeah.
was a
They
post.
don't know you as a five. Yeah. Five, four,
Yeah,
five.
like
Yeah.
hey, back to the basket, Akeem
Yeah.
Olajuwon, Rich, like hey,
Yeah.
Rodney, I was crazy with it in high school.
Yeah.
Hey, and I shoot a three here and there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but either I'm gonna get you on that post or dunk can I cuss on here? Can I,
So for
Rich
you,
though?
hey, listen to your, yeah.
The shit out of you riding in high school, boy. I ain't cut in high school, and I was skinny and lanky too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right, got me. So back to the story. I went to Hargrave and converted into a guard,
Yeah.
and at the same time, NC State, it's typical. They start recruiting me, but
Yeah.
back then it was more letters and pulling up to see us.
Yeah.
They cold turkey me, and then I found out like maybe a month later that they signed Damian Wilkins, and hats off to
Yeah.
him because he had a great career there, and then went to Georgia.
Yeah.
But after that, Wake Forest honored me going up there and changing my game,
Hmm.
and they only had one scholarship too, Rich and Rodney.
Yeah.
So that was dope that they saved it for me.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, shit, I stepped in that mud with a bigger chip on my shoulder because I always heard folks in the city was gonna hate because I went to Hargrave and not
Yeah.
straight to college.
Yeah.
So when I came back home, was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
get to make eat,
I get to show
eat
everybody,
the
like, yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that added chip on my shoulder made me, go on the wake and just really be something that they needed at the time.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get the misconception about like post grad and like prep schools and
Yeah.
JUCOs. I mean, it's all situational, um, especially in today's time. Like, it's definitely situational now, or it's
Yeah.
more common now to just prep just because. But
Hmm.
back then, like, you definitely had to have that SAT score. That was a no
Yeah.
brainer, SAT or ACT to get into
Hmm.
school. And so, man, for a lot of people, they may have had to go prep or post grad or
Yeah.
JUCO just to get to that level. Before we get into our questions, you know, what does it mean for you? You have Muggsy and Rodney Rogers and Tim Duncan, and those guys came a little bit before you. What does it mean to be in that brotherhood of Wake Forest guys going to the league?
Yeah, it's a nice tradition to have, and like you say, to follow in behind those type guys, man, and then continue the legacy,
Hmm.
guys like CP and Jeff Teague and James Johnson, and I mean, the list can go
Yeah,
on as far as
yeah,
that class went for maybe like 5 or 6 years after it was
yeah,
a dope little run we had, but those guys started it off, and
yeah,
it was a dope time. Definitely hope we get back to that. I know Forrest has been doing the best he can.
yeah.
But I'm definitely looking for us to, push the envelope and get back to those glory days and really have the ACC shook up like we did when we came through there.
Absolutely. Again, man, just being a kid, I think I had to be, man, maybe elementary going in the middle,
Hmm.
but man, just going to Wake Forest games and like really becoming a Wake Forest fan because of you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this just because you're a guest. Like, I only
Nah,
became a Wake Forest fan because you was
that's
from
real.
Winston. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We watched you play, and like again, a lot of people don't realize that you was a post, and then you turned
Yeah.
into that guard, when that big
Yeah.
wing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, like, again, man, that just, you know what I'm saying, going to those games and like the Coliseum being packed and, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
all that black and gold, just like the
Yeah.
atmosphere used to be really crazy, man. And y'all had like a very good career in your time at Wake. With the success y'all had, of course, Coach Odom was there, and then Skip Prosser, man.
Yeah.
I love Coach Prosser, man. How was it, getting Coach Prosser on the back end of your season? I mean, your 4 years.
Yeah, he transformed my game, man.
Hmm.
And like I say, I definitely get my hats off again to Coach Odom because he gave me the opportunity and showed me things that I needed to learn moving into having Coach Prosser. So
Yeah,
that was a dope experience. But Coach Prosser like really pushed me to be like who I am to this day, as
yeah,
far as like my mindset of the game and really like figuring out what I'm doing to get better after I leave the
hmm,
gym.
yeah,
I know you might have heard the cliche he used to say about, we used to have practice from 3 to 6. He'd be like,
hmm,
"But what are you doing from 6 to 3?" You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
It's
that
up there in
when
the
he
Miller
said
Center,
that to
right?
me was like light bulb became. Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah,
But to hear it, it was real. Like it was real.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Coach Prosser, man, that was definitely a sad thing. I like I said, just being a Wake fan and hearing about that or
yeah.
just reading about that news, man. I know that was pretty tough. So you had this great senior year at Wake. You guys make a run. You get
Mhm.
nominated for awards and those kind of things, and then you get ready for the draft process. So just being a
Yeah.
kid from Winston, going through your high school experience, you go post grad, you've had these 4 years at Wake. What was your draft process like?
Oh man, it was a step up in basketball. Um, Especially having to adjust to the 24-second shot clock and knowing, where you got to fit in with these
Hmm.
professionals. And to be considered one of the top, I think I was the last pick, top 29 players in that year's draft, in
Hmm.
that draft too, with
Yeah.
LeBron and all those guys leading the
Yeah.
charge. It definitely was a dope experience, and just that process before was just like I worked out with Adrian Dantley for maybe
Okay.
like 2 weeks straight in DC,
Okay.
and it was definitely a dope experience. But it was just like he taught me some stuff about getting to my spots, and I was already kind of like a good mid range shooter,
Hmm.
as I progressed,
Right.
Yeah.
but just really not wasting motion and using my athleticism. I did that a lot and
Yeah.
outwork people to really like carve out my space. What I'm saying, into the draft. So
Yeah.
um, we had a lot of 2-on-2s because they used to have like four guys come to
Yeah.
workouts, and
Yeah.
I guess they would consider them all four of us like the ones that they would draft.
Yeah.
And so it'll be a lot of good ass games, out there in shooting competitions.
Yeah.
I can't remember particularly. I know Dante Jones and Kyle Korver, and I can't remember the last person. But when we was in New Orleans, that was like one of the best 2-on-2 games I've ever played in as far as
Yeah.
basketball. But it also taught us, like I say, like again, the mentality of the game. Like everybody think they know how to play ball, but
Yeah.
playing pro ball is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. So you're there and you're in the draft class with arguably one of the best draft classes, right?
Hmm.
Did
Yeah,
you ever see yourself being a pro? I mean, a lot of guys, we talk about basketball and like, as a kid, you say, "Hey, I want to be a pro," but like when did it
yeah.
set in for you that like, "Nah, I can really do this?"
Right.
Shit, probably the end of my junior year.
Okay.
Um, A lot of people didn't know that either. I was gonna leave after my junior year, but I had a real bad high ankle sprain,
Hmm.
and back then they considered what you did in the tournament like more of a way to
Yeah.
get you into the lottery. So
Yeah.
for me, at the end of that year, my junior year, I was averaging like almost 30 a game, like the last 5 games of the season. Something it was something ridiculous,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um. I was going, and I found out that Philadelphia was probably going to draft me. I found that out like after the fact, but
Yeah.
I was promised my grandma I was going to finish school, so it was just like shit, like go ahead and come back and do what I need to do, my
Yeah.
senior year,
Yeah.
and prove the critics wrong too. Because my junior year too, I was still playing behind Darius
Yeah.
Sangalo, which was
Yeah.
a hell of a player too. So,
Absolutely.
I figured like if I wanted to prove people wrong again, my
Yeah.
senior year would be the best year to do it because we didn't have nobody either. They counted us out. Um, I think out of them 9 teams that year, they had us preseason ranked ninth. So,
Okay.
that was another chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it was just like a process to me. Like, nah, I'm finna prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nah, man, them weight teams were crazy, man. So again, you get drafted. Of course, you go to the Dallas Mavericks, which
Hmm.
Dirk Nowitzki, everybody knows that Dirk is a legend. How was getting there, being a rookie, and then kind of I saw that when I was looking up, I saw that I think Mike Finley was there the
Hmm.
same year you got there, and Sean Marion was there, right?
Nah, he didn't come until the end of my career.
Okay, so when you get there, how was it in those first year of just trying to figure out the NBA having some vets in front of you? Like, what was that like?
Well, again, it was like, coming into college, I had to figure out how to fit in the pros,
Yeah,
especially again, that pro level and the team I came in on, like you said, Dirk
yeah,
Nowitzki, Finley,
yeah,
Nash,
yeah.
Tony Delp, Travis Best, Antoine Walker, Antoine Jameson.
Ooh.
That was my rookie year, and
Yeah,
it was me and
yeah,
Marquise Daniels as far
yeah,
as that go. Oh, and Sean Bradley,
yeah,
Danny Fortson. I just named the whole team right there, my
yeah,
rookie year. But
yeah,
that's what I had to come into.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's tough.
come on.
Whoa.
That's
Some
tough.
Yeah, so yeah, and so for me, I know they drafted me, they drafted Keith, and they knew we was a different type of talent.
Yeah,
So again, for me, I had to figure out they didn't need me to score no more.
yeah,
What else could I do to stay
yeah,
on that court?
yeah,
And I knew I could rebound and I D your ass up.
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and I carved out my little lane for that.
yeah, yeah. And it,
That's
it
all
was
she wrote.
history. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Listen, just like I said, man, being super excited, watching y'all on TV, and seeing
Hmm.
you out there having fun, man. I know people don't really realize the ups and downs of like NBA season. Myself, I don't even you know what I'm saying, you can only hear stories or see through
Yeah.
documentaries or whatever. But like, I know it can be tough. One, being away from home. Two, like you said, you go from being the guy to like now back to being a role player.
Hmm.
Who did you? I guess who did you kind of console with to kind of like get you through? That rough part of the season.
Oh yeah, well, when I had those times like that, sometimes I'll internalize it. But when it got too deep, for me with basketball, I always viewed it as a game.
Hmm.
Competitive as hell, but understanding how to move on from it. But when it got like too deep, like I say, when we lost the finals,
Yeah,
talking to my grandma and mom about it a lot, helped out. As far as like them keeping me at an understanding that again that it's a
yeah,
game.
yeah,
But I had to make them understand that, the process of getting to that point and how mentally and physically your body is exhausted and
yeah,
you make it to the finals and lose and our fashion the way we lost,
yeah,
it can mentally break you. So
yeah,
having those conversations with them two ladies definitely kept me going, and like they say, they was my backbone, especially during those times when I was a younger man. So
yeah,
I mean, it's still hard even though my grandma's gone to heaven.
yeah,
Like they were just there for me. So that those are the people I would talk to the most about.
yeah. Man, you have a unbelievable career. You become an all star. Um,
Yeah,
that was a
man.
Josh. That was a big deal, man. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? A kid from Winston Salem, Wake Forest, hometown. You become an
Yeah.
all star. What was that feeling like, knowing that all your hard work, you actually, your role became way bigger because now, besides playing defense and rebounding, like you're scoring, like you
Scoring
are
now.
now, yeah, you are now maybe the three and sometimes the two option. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? How was that? Just making the All Star game and just that whole process.
But definitely a humbling experience to be around some superstars that, I grew up watching. So to know that I was considered one of those, man, just, hats off to my upbringing, my journey to that point, and people who helped me there. It was a cool experience, and it was in Vegas, so I got to go to Vegas. I think for maybe the second time, and have a ball, have a
Yeah,
great time as a
yeah,
all star.
yeah,
Um, and playing the game with guys like Kobe,
hmm, yeah,
KG,
yeah.
Tracy McGrady. That's my
That's
guy.
when the West was really the West too.
Yeah, and those games night in and night out, bro. It wasn't,
Yeah,
you can play around if you want. You don't get
yeah,
smacked. So
yeah,
those times, especially in that particular All Star game, was a fun time as far as being one. And
yeah,
it's something I never forget, like
yeah,
for sure. And like you say, coming from Winston and knowing who I'm from, and and I know Rodney, you probably experienced it. Like Winston is like a sports town. It's connected,
yeah,
and everybody kind of like you know be their own self and mind their own business, but also come together as one at times. So
yeah,
Winston has this particular feel about it that you'll know if you're from there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Rod know a little bit. I mean, he Kernersville, but he Winston too. You know, we gonna let him.
Yeah.
We gonna keep him in that
Hey, Rich,
category.
they still call Kernersville K Vegas.
It's
That's what they
still
used to
K.
call
It's still K. Vegas.
it.
It's
Nah,
still K.
we just call it
Vegas.
the we just call it the Ville, man. That's it. It's the Ville.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that's super dope, man. Again, like I said, just being that kid and just seeing that, it's like you give kids hope. By that time, I'm in high school now, so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, man, if he could be an all star, it's hope. Like Rodney said, it's hope for anybody.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Again, man, you played from 2003 to 2014, and then you decide to go into coaching, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, little old school Piedmont International University, right here in
Yeah.
Winston Salem.
Mhm.
How what what was that process? Because I was like, nah, this is gonna be dope. Like
Yeah.
you don't really hear much about, I mean, it's always been Piedmont Bible School. And
Hmm.
so then it changes the name, and then you bring somebody in like you have, Therese and Javon and Steve
Hmm.
and those guys helping you. Like,
Yeah.
what made you decide to come back and choose there?
Well, I was at a point in my life. I was just retired from the NBA,
Hmm. Hmm.
basically due to injuries.
Yeah.
That wouldn't allow me to play the way I used to play. So it was like one of those processes that everybody goes through at those levels where I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I had a college degree. I ran a couple of businesses. I made money off real estate, but sitting home and not knowing really what to do wasn't
Hmm.
playing.
Yeah.
So I had that we have a great labor union, the NBPA, and they
Yeah.
offer certain classes and certain things, for the benefits of the players. And I took a coaching clinic and got certified to be a coach.
Yeah.
And I always knew I can do it, and so I was just like, shit, let me try something. And on one particular day, rest his soul, the president of Piedmont
Hmm.
was at one of my workouts, and he had told me his former coach had just resigned the night before out the blue,
Yeah.
like no explanation, just said I'm out.
Yeah.
And so when he told me, he was more so telling me to see if I knew somebody that wanted to coach.
I want to get in.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I'll call you later on tonight and let you know something.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't know particularly, but that same day was the same day Skip Prosser passed, was 7 years prior.
Hmm.
And for me, it was like he spoke to me when I left and was like, shit, that's your job.
Yeah.
And so maybe like an hour later, I called Dr. Pettit back and told him I would do it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that was
Yeah.
like 2 years after I retired. So
Yeah.
that was like my first coaching job. And from there, shit, I've been coaching. This is my 10th season, if I'm 10th, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 10th. Yeah. So damn, that's crazy. I'm old.
Time flying. Time flying. I got up out of ride. I really just went into that question. I know I told you you go first. Hey, listen, I'm kind of just rolling, bro. Like I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Again, I'm gonna let Rod get into the next question. But Josh, that's super. Like
Yeah.
again, giving kids from Winston a chance to play.
Yeah.
They're not really realizing like any chance to play college ball is a great opportunity, no matter what
Yeah.
level or whatever. And I know for you, that's
Hmm.
got to be a good feeling because of course you do a lot of stuff giving back in the community, but this is kind of
Yeah.
the same thing. You're
Yeah.
giving kids a chance that may not have had a chance at their high
Yeah.
schools to go play, and being somebody that went through the same process that they did. I know
Hmm.
that's got to be a good feeling.
Definitely.
just just to like pick it back a little bit off of that question, because I played at Piedmont myself when it was Piedmont Baptist College.
Word up.
Yeah,
That's what's
man,
up,
yeah.
right?
We had the ugly jerseys, but but I was there. But
Yeah,
how
I've
did you
seen things, man. It's crazy.
it was crazy, small little weight room and everything. But
Yeah.
how did you sell it? Like, how did you sell kids to come there?
Just me, being me. I would say my assistant coaches did a great job just finding some local talent as well. Tamir
hmm,
Glenn was a kid from Carver that was pretty good.
shout out
Nash
to Tamir.
Carter.
Yeah,
I got Colton Bishop, like local kids
hmm,
that could play. And I knew they could play. So having a coaching staff and understanding like that's what I had successful teams was my
hmm,
coaching staff was
Right,
good,
right.
let me kind of like naturally understand again about coaching. So
yeah,
once I figured that part out, it was just kind of like again a no brainer to keep getting kids that could play. And I
yeah,
messed around and made it to the national tournament in the Christian conference that third year.
hmm,
So then I was surprised, but I figured that thing out. I was like, shit, it's just like me playing and like
yeah,
just I got
yeah,
to figure out personalities, and I know y'all know as coaches,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's a big part of coaching is understanding your players. And
yeah,
if you want to be a good coach, you really got to know each player.
exactly,
hmm.
Like
exactly.
ain't no
One through
bullshit.
whatever. Yeah, one through
Yeah.
whatever. You got to know all of them. Yeah.
So that's what I learned from that. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So with your NBA background, how do you feel like it's more of an advantage or challenge when you actually have to like build a culture or build a team?
Um, as far as like playing a team,
With just like building a program, do you feel like because you're
Or
oh,
being
or
a
like
build.
primary guy, is it
recruiting.
more of a
Yeah, or like
challenge?
recruiting. Hmm.
Um, I would say it depends on the administration. As far as the college goes. Because again, I started at Piedmont, who had an administration, but the athletics was going to go down, so they made sure they had the right people in place
Hmm.
to turn it around within 3 years.
Yeah.
So that was definitely helpful. At the university I'm at right now, and now that I'm the athletic director, the two previous athletic directors definitely did their best, but there were some things that we're doing now to correct, like having policies and procedures that we need to have in order to be one of the top NAIA schools in our conference. So
Hmm.
I've seen both sides, and I understand it now as far as, as I grow in my careers.
Yeah,
It's just a process, and like I say, the successful ones I've seen when they have everything like streamlined. So,
yeah. Nah, I would say that's definitely dope, man. Of course, you had, you do what, 4 years at Piedmont from 2016
yep.
to 2020. Um,
Hmm.
then you get this opportunity, University of North Texas at Dallas.
Yep.
It's back in a place where you've really built, a relationship. You gave the city a lot of hope, and you've done a lot
Hmm.
of things. What made you really want to go back and coach at a newer program or back in Dallas?
My kids.
Hmm.
I mean, and y'all understand when I say this, like I had my kids later in my career because I wanted a career.
Hmm.
So of course, when you have your child or your second, third, and I have four,
Yeah,
it was like my heart was pulling me back here, and I couldn't like stand to be away from them as long as I was in those 4 years. After
yeah,
retiring from the league, so that definitely brought me back here, and then just the opportunity at that university, which was another brand new university that never had an athletic program. So to basically put my name in the books down there was some important stuff to me, and having the opportunity to
yeah,
do that with President Long giving me the opportunity was like it was a no-brainer. So
yeah.
yeah.
Now, I think people don't realize how close you are with your family and like how big your family is here in Winston. Like, you could post
Yeah.
something every time, and somebody like, "Oh, what's up, cuz?" Like, what I'm saying? Like, it's a big family, man. And so, I think that's super important. Our next question: making the adjustment. So you go from, our hometown hero to NBA All Star.
Mhm.
In that time, what would you say would probably be like some of the lessons you had to learn along the way, whether tough lessons or good lessons? What would be some of the lessons you learned along the way?
um one lesson I've learned is just being always true to yourself. um as far as in situations where if you make the wrong decision it'll hurt you more than the other person, so you have to choose yourself
Yeah,
over that person as far as that hurt.
yeah,
um and just continue to work hard. Like
yeah,
no
absolutely.
matter what anybody says, if you personally know the truth, like why give somebody that energy?
Yeah,
I learned that. I learned how to kill people's energy early in my life. Of course, it was different ways of changing that as you get older. Especially when I got to the NBA, especially I guess you could say like with the more money, more problems came.
hmm,
I had to figure out other ways to kill energy
yeah,
when I got to the NBA. So
yeah,
those were learning moments in my life as I got older
yeah,
that taught me to be a better me now.
yeah. That's important, man. Just I know there's gonna be a lot of people that have their hand out or feel like, you know, they can
Mhm.
ask you because oh, we grew up together, but we don't really talk about like survivor's guilt. And I was having this conversation with somebody earlier in the week when we were talking about getting ready for this, and I was like, "There's always that survivor's guilt of like, you know what, I made it out, so I feel like I gotta help everybody."
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And so I know that can be tough.
It can be, but again, for me, having to realize when you got them kids that's gonna be looking at you, regardless if you got money or not,
Yeah,
it's gonna be like these kids or these more people that
yeah,
ain't coming. I don't even want to say that, but you know where I'm
yeah,
going with this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm choosing my babies,
Right.
so
yeah,
and I had one of them moments, and I think everybody have them at certain times. But again, for me, it was just like, nah, I'm smart enough. I understand my career, and it's different from other people's careers, so
yeah,
let me make sure I'm doing what's right for me first.
yeah,
And then if I can help you, I will. If not, it is what it is. Like again, back to what I said originally. If I know the truth, I ain't tripping. Like if I can
yeah,
tell you no, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm honestly telling you no. So,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I think people have to get out of their feelings and really think around the entire box of the conversation. I think a
yeah.
lot of people miss that too in just general conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is mind blowing to me because not everybody, but some people always think about themselves first before they
Yeah,
think about the other person they're speaking with. So,
yeah,
I could talk about that for days.
yeah,
Well, the next question I have for you, Josh, with your of all the experience you have of recruiting the recruiting process, and also you being a coach and your recruiting process, recruiting players,
Yeah.
how do you navigate and help your sons with their recruiting process? And I'm gonna add on a question. Um, What type of players do you look when you go to recruit players?
Okay, so for my son, well, my oldest son, who's actually being recruited by some pretty good teams, and me being who I am, I just more so guide him in the mindset like how I was of being honest with myself with these teams and keeping that chip on my shoulder because my son definitely has a story like mine. I can't wait for him to tell his, but
Hmm.
um, and understanding like you're going somewhere where you're going to get to the next level regardless how you feel. Just go in there and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
So guiding him that way and just that 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 that's it was kind of easy, but I just had to make sure I listened to what coaches say because it's different now than when it was when I came out, especially with that
Yeah,
NIL stuff.
yeah,
These agents and all them saying what they can do and what they can't do. It's like,
yeah,
man, yeah. So I've learned a lot and I had that experience where I'm his roadblock.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so it's been a cool experience. I've definitely had some teams I would say I'm online, but I don't want to embarrass some of it. But there's definitely some coaches out there that's bogus as hell in the D1 ranks, and it's
Yeah,
sad to say.
yeah,
Like guys like myself and other guys that's even better coaches than me definitely deserve them opportunities, and I definitely can say that.
yeah.
So I seen that through this process. And I'll leave that there. But for my recruiting process is a little different because of me being in the NAIA school. But at the same time, there's a flood of players that think they can play.
right.
Hmm.
I get a chance to recruit like after kids come out of the transfer portal, kids who thought they was going to go places but ended up not going. I do still recruit freshmen, local talent, especially down here in Dallas. It's just like being in Winston, but
Yeah,
definitely like triple the size.
Right.
yeah,
So it's easy to find good talent down here, and again, with me being who, after I kind of vet what I get, I kind of like this year's team. I'm pretty excited to see what we end up doing because
yeah.
I was able to recruit around a young man who transferred from a D1 school, and
Yeah.
I think we're going to be tough. And we changed conferences too. I meant to tell you that we're in the Red
Okay.
River Conference now. We was in the
I
Sooner
just I
Athletic
just saw
last
that too.
season.
Yeah, I think I saw that when I
Yeah,
was reading up on that too. Um,
yeah.
nah, man,
So
I
it's
think
pretty dope.
I think that's dope.
Yeah,
One, just what you're doing. Um, one further in your career, man, to be the athletic director and the head coach. That's a big deal.
yeah.
Because you're more involved. You kind of get a chance to do both
Yeah.
sides, the administrative side
Lord.
and the coaching side,
Mhm.
and then on top of that, man, with Bryson, man, just watching him just
Yeah,
blossom this summer. Like, I mean, just you see you play and you see the resemblance.
we back.
Like, bro, yeah, we back, we back.
They we froze. Everybody froze.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It do that from time to time. Like I said, it's could just
Yeah.
be the connection. We edit that stuff out too.
Okay.
But yeah, man, just again, just seeing the transformation this summer, seeing the
Yeah.
resemblance in the game, and those kind of things, man. I think that his recruitment process being better as far as like the
Hmm.
opportunities and the schools. I think that helps. And then having a dad that has been through it, has can sift through the BS, and what I'm saying, like that
Yeah.
plays a major part because although there's this portal, and it's not like 4 years no more, it's still once you choose, you're the opportunity that you're choosing is like you're trying to make a better future. You know what I'm saying? This is like a
Yeah.
something that could better your future. And so I think that's super dope.
Hmm. Yeah.
For him and for you and for the family, I think that's crazy. A lot of people are gonna be trying to, we talked about this before. A lot of people are gonna be trying to, man, I was there when, I saw that, they gonna, how that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, they already got started. God damn
Yeah,
it.
yeah, man. So that's tough. What
Yeah.
what guidance would you give a high school kid or college athletes hoping to reach the professional level on and off the court? So, you get a kid that's here from Winston as, or in Dallas that's they might have that potential. They might have that factor. What would be
Hmm.
some advice that you would give them just trying to one make it to the next level and then how to conduct themselves on and off the court?
Well, I think the answer I'm gonna give is just really an answer for both, and what I did was figure out how to separate myself from my friends.
Hmm.
Um, like love them to death, but when they was out doing their thing, I was staying out the school with Coach Cloud with that
Yeah,
VCR.
yeah,
I knew I would see them on Saturday and Sunday,
yeah,
but I got practice on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. My guys
yeah,
I love you. I'm gonna go out
Yeah,
with you that Friday. So
yeah,
stuff like that really stood out for me. And really, again, not listening to the naysayers, just really and listening to people who've done what you want to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's something that's a lost art now too with these kids and the social media and all that shit. So I could talk about that
Yeah,
for years too, but really, I mean, talk about these kids because y'all deal with. I know, Rich, you
yeah.
be probably about to go crazy at school some days, boy.
Stress me out.
Yeah,
Stress me out, man.
but yeah, man. So just really, that would be my advice. Just really, if you serious about the sport, not I had this conversation with my players, like take it serious that I'm out here telling you what I'm telling you, because it ain't
Hmm.
like I'm lying to you. And I can tell
Yeah,
them the same thing. I say the
yeah,
stuff I'm telling you is what I'm telling my son, because just last year nobody was recruiting them.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we stayed true to what we believed, and look what can happen.
Look what can
You know
happen.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
No,
it's
that's
just.
dope.
Yeah, it's just like I say, for me, I'm a walking testimony, and I know everybody's success level isn't the same. You get what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
if you put yourself in the mindset that you got a goal and you reach it by what you're doing, and
Yeah,
that's staying consistent,
yeah.
man, the sky's the limit.
Guys, let me.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got a bonus question, Ron. I know you want to ask this. Like I said, I feel like I already know. I got one person in mind.
so,
Go
so,
ahead, Ron.
so for the bonus question, the hot seat question, who was your
okay,
favorite player to guard, and who was your toughest player to guard?
favorite player to guard. Man, favorite player. I would probably say shit. That's tough because I play in my mind. I always go to more so like the when I was playing in like '05, '06, '07. That time,
Mhm,
those
mhm.
times. Um, Toughest player that came to my head that quick, Mono Ginobili.
Ooh, I was not expecting that. Hey, I was not expecting that. I'm expecting
Toughest
Mamba.
player.
I'm expecting Mamba.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Black Mamba.
Well, see, I'm a flip it on you because those were the fun games. Him and
Yeah,
Tracy McGrady, because I knew
yeah,
it was them nights like I'm finna be in for one, but
yeah,
I'm gonna try to get 20. Like
yeah,
I'm pushing back. I'm still you. I'm gonna be here. So those were more fun games to me.
yeah, yeah,
But when I played Ginobili, I was like, oh shit, here come this
yeah,
Euro.
yeah.
Oh, left-handed, and he was Euro left-handed before everybody was.
Man, listen.
Well, I
I
take
mean,
it back. Peck was doing it too. I mean, not
yeah,
Peck, Petrovic was too.
yeah.
Excuse me. Um, but yeah, Ginobili
That's
definitely was one of the toughest ones to have to chase. And I
yeah,
go
Manu
another one that you
Ginobili,
probably
man. He
wouldn't
is
think.
another one.
Rip Hamilton.
Yeah,
Oh, I think.
chasing off the screens.
Yeah, man. Him and Allen
Yeah,
Iverson
chasing off
chasing
them
them off
screens. Yeah,
screen.
no, no, no.
Mm-mm. No fun.
Rip was Rip was tough, man. Nah, Josh. Again, man. Like I said, I think you know just for what you've done, man, and your experience and everything what you're doing, man. We didn't really touch a lot on like off the court stuff, but what you did with the Josh Howard Foundation. I
Yeah.
shared a little bit with Rod about even you helping me. My first year at Walkertown, just being able
Yeah.
to do what you do for the community, man. Like a lot of people don't realize, man, that goes a
Yeah.
long way. That humanitarian
That's it.
part of your adulthood, like
Hmm.
giving back, man. So I think that's dope. We definitely want to give you your flowers.
Man,
You were
thank
probably
appreciate
the we had money on here, and we had money on here, and we talked about, and I was just like, man, I got to get bro on here. Like,
you.
I know we ain't got no crazy production, you know what I'm saying? But like, I
I
was
ain't
just
worried
like, bro,
about
we got to get him on here. Like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, we got to get him on here, man. Like, this is, to me, man, this is like me trying to give back for you. You helped me a lot, especially even when I was training, coming up at the Piedmont, and
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a full circle moment for us, man. So
definitely.
again, man, like I said, we want to keep it under an hour. We
Yeah.
had 45 minutes. This is probably the shortest one we did, but it's also probably the most conversation that we've got got
Totally.
Yeah,
done in this span.
Yeah.
that's
You know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying? And so,
I
bro,
just
we appreciate you.
yeah. I
You know,
definitely just want to say, man, we appreciate you, man, for jumping on. It's a blessing. And like, I don't know how Rich feel. Probably feel the same way. I kind of feels like, man, we'll love to get where you at and coach on the college level one day. So, we
Yes,
kind of looking
sir.
at you as obviously you are a big brother to us, but it's like we
Yeah,
looking at you and we seeing your footsteps and what you have done to take over at Piedmont and change the culture. Now over there in Dallas, changing the culture. So, us as young coaches, man, like it was great to get you on so we can just, continue to follow your journey and like, you know what, like once again, like I said earlier, that hope. Like, what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like you giving us hope as young coaches that we can keep
yeah.
going and we can grow and we can change programs also. So I appreciate it for real from bottom of my
Yes,
heart.
sir. Appreciate you, man.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, man, just keep going. That's all. Keep going.
yeah, yeah. Just one thing to leave with Josh. Like we did this on the last one. Um, I know you gave advice to like a young athlete, but like I guess what's a life hack or a life tip that you've probably learned outside of be true to yourself that you could
Mhm.
share with not only just an athlete, but let's just say a regular kid that's coming up, no guidance,
Yeah.
may not have mentors. Like, what's a life hack that you would probably share with them?
I kind of when people ask me those questions, I kind of go with like what first comes to mind. That my mom used to tell me when I was a little boy, and this
Mhm.
is a cold little statement. She used to say, "If you lie, you cheat. If you cheat, you steal."
Yeah, yeah.
It's self-explanatory. So
Hey, self-explanatory.
if
Yeah,
you're doing any one of them, you with the shits, and why
yeah.
would you want to live like that? Like,
Right.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's how that's the advice I would give them. Like, plain and simple, because
yeah,
that you don't or same another way of saying is treat people how you want to be treated.
yeah, yeah. You
That's
you
it.
learn that early. Yeah, you learn that, and that's like the golden rule. You're
The
supposed to
golden
learn that,
rule.
Oh,
ahead of
to
time.
especially now, that is not a golden rule. Lord Jesus.
Yeah, the entitlement. Like I said, we could do a whole other hour on entitlement,
Yeah.
man. But I try not to listen. I try. Me and
I
Rob,
won't do that because we'll get hot.
yeah,
I get mad about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Rob be sharing stories, and I was just
Yeah.
like, man, these kids are, it's a lot of entitlement going on. It's a lot of
Yeah.
delusion going
A
on, and
lot of
so
delusion.
we
Yeah.
we try to control it at the local level, man. We
Yeah.
trying to get some of this stuff in check. And I mean, that's why we're really doing this, trying to, give people a positive light and give them the
Mhm.
information they need so that we can try to change the culture. Because to be honest, man, not having kids get recruited heavily in this area is like something that we're not used to,
Yeah. It was
and
definitely a
just as a
thing.
public school coach, yeah, just as a public school coach, it's like, now I'm not used to this. Like, we
Hmm.
used to have a tradition, and somewhere along the line, there's a thing, there's some kind of stigma about Winston.
Yeah.
Um, and coaches are just not, they're bypassing us. They going to Greensboro or Charlotte or
Hmm.
everywhere else, Raleigh, but they passing Winston. They might stop by, but they ain't
Thanks.
dropping off no O's. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that could that Winston and along with other cities can be a product of that whole prep school movement, and
Hmm.
a lot of these prep schools are opening up that we'd never heard of. Is getting kids to go there, and he'd be like, "How the hell did he end up at this place that really ain't
Yeah,
accredited?" You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah,
but I think that's a part of it. But definitely, I agree with you in particular that Winston, outside of the young men that we know of, like basketball wise, I don't really see not too many guys. Like I know I had me some guys that was on my team down here, and I know you got a guy for
yeah,
me. We're talking off camera about, but like for the
yeah,
most part, like shoot, I don't know nobody else that's coached from our area that's in the coaching ranks now that's going to get kids from Winston. So it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Well, man, bro, we appreciate it. We're gonna, like I said, I'll clip these up today.
Okay.
Try to get it out later on the night. I gotta edit some stuff out. With the middle part. But man, we definitely appreciate you. Like I said, I got my jersey on today, man.
That's
Just in
hard
case
about it.
anybody see that,
That's
Yeah.
you know,
that's tough. I
I
ain't
had
even
to
know who's doing that. That's
I
crazy,
had
but
to go I had to go look for it. I had to make sure. We need to figure out. what's going on with these companies and why they don't have Josh Howard jerseys like they have everybody else.
Got
You know what I'm
everybody else.
saying? Like
Yeah,
it's man from a Winston kid. That's disrespectful.
yeah.
So
Well, you know
disrespectful.
what? I'm gonna go find out if my name's been trademarked yet or what have you,
Yeah,
and see if I can get that taken care of. Cause
man.
yeah, I'm with you. I mean, outside of what I got in my personal stash, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
don't see
And
them.
that's and
But I
look, and that's
mean,
for you.
now
Yeah, that's for
down
you.
here though, I do see people repping me all the time, so it is
Yeah,
funny to see people.
yeah,
Damn boy, and even have that too. It's still an honor too that people still remember me. Like
yeah,
Facts.
um,
Facts.
even in share this last story because this just happened. I'm just coming back from the University of Kentucky with my son today.
yeah,
2 days ago when we got there, we ate at a known breakfast spot. I didn't know the name of it. I can't recall the name of it, but it was great. They had these biscuits. They did everything was biscuits.
yeah,
But I'm getting beside the point 'cause that shit was good. And then the next day, I got a DM from this man. It was like, I wish that well, I'm on my phone, so I ain't gonna read it. But he basically was like, out of respect, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but go Deeks and go Tar Heels. I love your son. Hopefully he'll go here. I mean, go somewhere outside of here. I forgot how they put it, but the shit was so funny. And
yeah,
damn, people recognize me anywhere, so it's like a blessing, man, to still have that notoriety, or just the people respect me the way they do. So I'm
yeah,
just thankful, like you say, for me to be around and still get that and receive that love is a blessing.
yeah. It says a lot about your character. We talked on our last show about when people talk about you after your career, or even when they talk about what you've done,
Yeah.
and they talk about you in a good light. It says a lot about your character.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once the ball starts bouncing, you have to
Mm-hmm.
now, yeah, you have to now figure out the other part of your life, and people are going to have to talk about, what you did as a man, what did you do as a, what I'm saying,
Yep.
outside of basketball
Right.
player,
Not
but
a basketball. Yep.
you know what I'm
That's
saying. So
real
that
life.
says, yeah, that says a lot to be in a whole different state, man, and somebody, DM you, bro. So that's super dope, man. Like I said, we give you your flowers, man. This is listen, bro. I couldn't wait to do this podcast, like
Right.
Yeah.
for real,
Appreciate it. Yeah.
and
Glad I
just
could do it, man.
yeah, just appreciative, man, of you, and always picking up the phone, and those kind of things, because some people can be Hollywood sometimes, man, and I won't share my story on some other people, and some other instances, but
Yeah.
anytime I text you, bro, call you if I need anything, like you're always there.
That's dope.
So that means a lot. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
So
Appreciate you,
but
fam.
again, man, we appreciate you, man. R&R podcast episode 3 will be uploaded tonight, bro. We got another one done.
Movie.
Already, fam.
All right, man.
All right, fellas.
Yeah.